About an hour away east is from Hollywood, California, lies a little racetrack, a 2-mile D-shaped oval just outside west of Fontana, California, nestles the Auto Club Speedway. It is a 2-mile D-shaped oval with 14 degrees of banking in the corners of the racetrack, all corners, turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 8 degrees of banking on the front straightaway, and the back straightaway completely flat. But those characteristics are just the generics. It's the bumps here at the Auto Club Speedway that makes it difficult for these drivers, especially that back straightaway, all bumpy. Hello, everybody. I'm Tanner Sharp in the booth here tonight, and alongside me is Mr. Justin Cole. And doing in the production truck all the camera work is Mr. Carlos Acosta. Justin, welcome to Auto Club Speedway. We are here for the 2018 Three-Wide Racing League 2018 Cup Series, the RaceKings Cup Series here in Auto Club, and we're round 9 of 30 races this season. What is your experience at the Auto Club Speedway? It's fast, it's wide. What other notes could you give us?
I can give you a whole heck of a lot of notes, Tanner. I've been coming to this track ever since 2013 for all the Cup races, and this is quite the fast track. You know, you're running about 200 miles plus into these corners. It's super fast racetrack. You mentioned not a whole lot of banking, and the bumps are what's going to kill a lot of these drivers, especially down that back straightaway. I'm sure we'll get a lot of great shots from it, from Carlos, but they're going to be bumping down that back straightaway, and turn 3 especially should be pretty interesting. You know, turns 1 and 2, that apron not going to be used quite as much, but 3 and 4 you can really use that apron to your advantage, and can really widen out that racetrack. And speaking of wide, that front straightaway, the restarts here can be pretty hairy as well, depending on how far out they want to spread. It can go about 5 wide here. I don't believe we'll be seeing that tonight, but it's sure to be interesting.
If they do, they might as well start calling us the 5-Wide Racing League. But hey, I mean, it's been 3 wide since its inaugural season, since day one. But I tell you what, Justin, correct me if I'm wrong. I've driven here at Auto Club, and I actually got my first win ever in 3-Wide Racing League at this racetrack. And there, in my opinion, there's a difference between how you enter turn 1 and how you enter turn 3. Do you have the same opinion as I do?
Absolutely. It's you know, they look so similar, but they drive so different. I know, especially exiting to that wall can creep up on you in quite the hurry. 3 and 4, it just seems like it takes so much longer to get around that corner, and the wall doesn't quite creep up on you as quick as 1 and 2. But looks can be deceiving with those corners. They're 2 completely different animals.
I completely agree, and that actually took the knowledge right out of my head of what I was going to say. But that's all right. But I tell you what, enough about the racetrack. We know about the racetrack, the details. It's fast, and by the way, this track can also produce some good fuel mileage races, not just for 3-Wide Racing League, but also in real life as well. But now, enough about the track. Let's talk about the drivers who will be participating in this event. So let's go through the point standings. So far, Cameron Rich has a 28-point lead over second place, Paul Ross. Cameron Rich, 393 points with 2 wins on the season, 7 top 10s out of the 8 starts. Paul Ross, he has 6 top 10s out of the 8 starts, but he also has 2 wins. He's won the last 2 point races in the RaceKings Cup Series. Paul Ross's teammate, Samuel Close, sits 3rd in points, only 36 points back from Cameron Rich. Not yet visited victory lane, but has finished in the top 10 in every race but 1 race. Same amount of top 10s as our point leader so far. Peter Short, currently in 4th in points with 3 wins. He has the most wins out of any driver this season, 5 top 5s and 5 top 10s. Johnny Thomas is in 5th in the point standings. He has 2 top 5s and 7 top 10s, 306 points, 87 points back. Still plenty of time to get a win for Mr. Johnny Thomas. Matt Hackathorn sits 6th place in points with 301 points. Luis Samasso, a 3OG driver, 288 points in 7th place. He's 105 points back from Cameron Rich. Mr. Levi Zielinski, one of the biggest movers since the last points race, sits in 9th with 1 win. He got that win at Bristol, remember that. And Jordan Teal rounding out the top 10, 146 points back. So Jordan Teal sits 247 points. That is the top 10 in points. Now let's take a look at the practice drivers here. So far, I'm going to read out the top 5 at least. Paul Ross, Chuck Sweeting, Cameron Rich, Jordan Teal, Drew Eisenman. Any surprise up there, Justin?
I'd I'd have to say Chuck Sweeting. The last time we saw him in the series, I believe, was Las Vegas, and he came oh so close to that first victory. Strategy was on his side, just had a little trouble entering pit road. I expect to see him up towards the front really all night, and
he's going to be the dark horse for tonight, in my opinion. I totally agree. So let's bring in a driver here, and not just because he won the last 2 races, but he's the fastest in practice so far. So I'm going to try to bring up Mr. Paul Ross here. Paul Ross, sorry to bother you. I know you're probably practicing to discuss with your teammates, but hopefully you got a second. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. How's it going?
Doing all right. Paul, the reason why we pulled you up here is not just because you've won the last 2 races, but I'm just reading that you're the fastest on speed charts right now. It's pretty fast with them lap times, especially in this late afternoon setting. But that late afternoon setting can't always mean it could be a good handling car. How's the car handling for you? And number 2, what are you expecting for the race? And number 3, what is the strategy here at Auto Club Speedway? It's big, wide, and fast. How do you enter the corners? Because we did discuss at the top of the show that entering turn 1 is different than entering turn 3.
All right, let's see if I can hit all these. What was the first question?
I honestly don't remember the first question anymore. How do you plan out? You're the fastest in practice with a 39.7 so far. And let's start off, how important is qualifying, and how do you execute the race?
I think qualifying is going to be fairly important just so you can try to stay out of the mess. The car is fairly loose in turns coming off of turn 2 and coming off of turn 4. Really bad the first, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 laps. I don't know if it's because the tires have enough grip that it feels like you can have a lot of drive off, but it just gradually starts sliding out from under you. So if we can qualify better, that should get us further in front of the trouble. Hopefully we don't become the trouble. But other than that, the car, after about 10 laps, maybe into the 15 lap mark, it starts getting real tight on entry. But the looseness off the corner it helps it a little bit. It doesn't seem as loose about halfway through a run. Strategy-wise, I think it's all going to come down to if and when we get cautions. This race seems to usually come down to a fuel mileage race. So you're going to get the guys that are going to try short pitting that may be fast enough to compensate from pitting one extra time. But you usually get guys, which I don't see Nick Miller in here, but usually he stretches his fuel out and he's up towards the front, towards the end of these things.
Yeah, the fuel strategy is notorious for this kind of racetrack, not just for the 3-wide racing league, but for the Cup Series in real life as well. But Paul, I do have another question for you here. A lot of people reference Auto Club Speedway as the sister track to Michigan International Speedway. Do you reference that? And if so, can you relate the similarities of the racetrack, and how do you enter the corners different from like turn 1 and turn 3?
Ideally, you really want to enter high and hit the apex of the corner down low and gradually let the car drift up. Tonight, with the car as loose as it is, you're going to see probably 2 different lines. I'm entering a lot lower and then holding the bottom through the apex and then sliding up. A lot of the other guys are entering high and then they're only coming down to about the second or 2.5 grooves up from the bottom. So that way they can keep it wound up a little bit more and get a better drive off.
Oh man, a lot of different strategies as far as how you're gonna run the car in the corners. That is great information right there. Wow. All right, well, I appreciate you taking the time, Paul. We got about less than 2 minutes of practice, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and do what you gotta do before qualification here. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us, and good luck tonight.
Thanks, and hopefully I can talk to you guys afterwards.
That is Paul Ross, folks, who is second in the point standings and leading the practice charts so far in this session of Auto Club Speedway. I collected a lot of information right there, Justin, and it just tells me we're gonna see some multi-groove racing. Yeah, it's a late afternoon setting. It can provide a little grip, but it can also be a handful at times.
Oh, absolutely. This track always is a handful, and as you mentioned, a lot of great information from Paul Ross there, and expect to see, as you said, some multi-groove racing. I don't think we've seen it in real life. I don't think we're gonna get all the way to the wall, like you've seen some people do, like Kyle Larson. But I believe we're going to get maybe a little close. You can kind of see the distinct grooves in the racetrack, and it's going to be really interesting to say the least.
Looking up and down the practice charts, I'm seeing Johnny Thomas in the top 10, Luis Salmasso, I see Lafferty and Levi Zielinski rounding out the top 10. There's a couple guys. I'm surprised Sam Close is not in the top 10 in practice, but he ain't going to get any further because practice now is over. Now we enter qualification. Now this is a critical part here in Auto Club because usually track position can be a key moment here at Auto Club. What do you think about track position at a racetrack like this?
Oh, absolutely. Especially on the restarts, they can get pretty hairy with everybody trying to go 3-4 wide, but with that, it kind of clogs the track too, and if you're behind that, there's really nowhere for you to go to make up positions or anything like that. And, if you don't quite have the confidence in your car in the corner, you're not really going to make up a lot of positions either. So the higher up in the speed standings you are, it's going to be the better here for you. Especially, I don't believe these races usually produce a lot of cautions, so it's probably going to be a really green race tonight.
There you see on screen on board Jordan Teal coming off turn number 4. He's going to hit, let's see what he hits at the line, about 197 miles an hour at the start-finish line. And I believe this is his opening lap right here. 203 entering the corner of turn 1, riding right down the bottom, not hitting that white line because that can mess you up totally. He had a pretty good entrance, pretty good exit so far. Oh, he's going to give it, I think that may have been a second lap right there. Production trucks makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Johnny Thomas, here's a guy that could get a win today, and I know he can win races. He's got 2 top 5s. I think he's got 7 top 10s so far. Been very consistent. He's usually in the top 10 no matter where we go.
Absolutely, yeah. And I expect tonight will be no different. Usually a top 5 driver no matter where we go. Again, expect no different from him here tonight.
Luis Salmasso so far hits the speed charts in qualifying with a 39.6, a heck of a lot faster than what they ran in practice there, Justin.
Absolutely.
Peter Short ran a 39.6.
As you saw, Luis changed his scheme there, so a little bit of a discrepancy with his scheme early, so changed it on request of the admins. So Johnny unfortunately got the wall. I don't know if he was on his second lap or not, but obviously not going to be able to finish that one.
I didn't see him take a qualification. He doesn't have a time on the board yet, so I'm not 100% sure. Only 2 drivers are able to make it into the 6s. Are you surprised, Justin, that drivers are running faster in qualifying as far as lap time is concerned than what they can run in practice?
A little, yes, actually. It's that's actually really interesting to see that. I didn't really expect to see that, as you mentioned, but maybe that'll just carry over into the race, too. Obviously, probably only going to be the first lap on fresh tires, but getting later in the day, I'm sure speeds are going to go up.
Yeah, that's true, too. Later in the day, speeds go up. Maybe some grip settling into the racetrack, a little more of a groove, because the middle of the corners, it gets darker the more you run in that area of the track. I'm only seeing 4 drivers right now posted 6s, 39.6s. Luis Salmasso so far on top of the board. Cameron Rich, Paul Ross, and Peter Short all ran a 6. Qualifying still trying to get in. We got about a minute and a half left of qualification. Majority of the drivers have taken the qualification time. Still waiting on Cody Wright, Dylan Hickey, Nathan Velez, Johnny Thomas, and I think Thomas just took a time. Yes, he did. He got 7th.
39.725 for Johnny there.
Still waiting on a couple drivers. Now, sometimes there's drivers that elect not to qualify. They just kind of want to hang on in the back. They be like, oh, man, I'm not really good at this racetrack. I just want to go in the back of the pack and probably just learn and experience. You will get drivers that do that kind of thing.
Absolutely. The Nathan Velez go around. Before we take the green here, let's just a couple things to note here. You see the new pickers and stuff. We have the new scheme here for 3-wide TV. Just want to thank Thomas Morris from OCR TV for the graphics package here today, and you'll see that throughout the rest of the season. A big thanks to him. And of course, these wonderful camera angles were provided by TrackCams for Gourmet. You can find more information and download the pack at www.trackcams22 or facebook.com/trackcams.
Thomas, you are the man. Thank you. That is awesome work. I don't care what
Sure.
anybody says. That looks clear as sharp as day.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, qualification wrapping up in about 5 seconds. It is now safe to say to take the. I guess we can go to the grid here. What do you say there, Justin?
Absolutely. It looks like only about 3 cars didn't take time, so we'll wait till they get up here. Here we go.
As I am reading that top 10 right now, but before we name them off, Justin, it is an interesting top 10, and I'm going to be reading them off here in a second. But it is a very interesting top 10 indeed. There's some surprises that I'm not seeing in the top 5 that should be in the top 5, in my opinion, that have been fast all season long. But I always. Here's the kicker when it comes to racing is I'm poor in qualification. Me personally, I suck at qualifying. But when it comes to race trim, I'm good. It's just a thing. But anyways, let's go to the grid here. Are we ready to go to grid there, production truck? All right, we are. Here we go. Luis Salmasso, congratulations. I believe this is his first pole of the season with a 39.640. Congratulations on getting the pole, Luis. Cameron Rich starts in second place. In third place, Mr. Paul Ross. Peter Short will start in fourth. Drew Eisenman will start in fifth. Chuck Sweeting will start in sixth. Seventh place, Mr. Johnny Thomas. David Wilson starts in eighth. Kevin Finn in ninth. And Mr. Samuel Close. That is a surprise right there. I figured it would be in the top 5 as far as the starting grid. He's going to start 10th tonight there, Justin.
Absolutely. And Richard Lafferty going to start 11th here tonight. Wade Lear will start 12th. James Duke 13th. Jordan Teal will start 14th. Chad Brown will start 15th. Richard Hines 16th. Mike Stevens will start 17th. Matt Hackathorn 18th. That's a bit of a surprise as well. It's been running really well this season so far. Rusty Webb will start 19th, and Corey Lindsay will round out the top 20.
Blackjack position, 21st position, Nathan Velez is going to start in 21st. Steve Ketman in 22nd. He's the last driver to take a qualification time. Mr. Levi Zielinski, another driver I'm surprised not in the top 10. He's usually fast. He's going to start 23rd tonight. 25th, I am reading Tate Lytle, but he is unfortunately suspended. I'm sure it says on the ticker as I am reading due to some complications there. Dylan Hickey is going to start 24th there tonight, and 25th is going to be Cody Wright. So 25 drivers will start the field. It's a very good-sized field for the 3-wide racing league, and we're only going to get one pace lap around this joint of the 2-mile Auto Club Speedway.
Before we go racing here, Tanner, I just want to give a quick shout-out to the 39 here, starting David Wilson. He's starting 8th tonight, making his first career RaceKings Cup Series start. And not sure if you check out his streams, but driver who drives in VR, and going to be very exciting to watch him work his way through this field here tonight.
Check them out, folks. I know, but if you have a separate TV screen or if you're watching on your computer, leave us on in your background and just go on Twitch and look up and just type in iRacing. I'm sure you can find David Wilson in there. Not sure what his name tag is on Twitch, but that is something cool to really watch and see, man. He actually has it on the hood of his car. I'm seeing it.
Yes, sir. Twitch on the hood here tonight, and able to catch a few of his streams. Racing in VR myself at one point. It's very cool to watch, I will say.
Oh man, it must be mind-blowing because I have never done anything like that yet. But here we go. Pace car is in. Luis Salmasso is going to get on the loud pedal. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
We have our own DW here in the booth. Not a lot of movement here on the restart, you see. Some people just trying to get up to that high side. This is the way you're going to want to enter turn 1 here.
Luis Salmasso takes off down turn 1. He's going to come off of turn number 2 for the first time here this evening as the race leader. Paul Ross is currently in the second spot after starting third. Cameron Rich is currently in the third spot right now. Fourth place is Mr. Drew Eisenman, who owns that car in the 17. And right behind him, I believe, is Peter Short. So you got a lot of Eisentech Enterprise drivers up there. Coming off turn 4 for the first time off the 14 degrees of banking is Mr. Luis Salmasso, leading the first lap tonight.
Almost got a little tight back there coming off 4. Driver's able to work it out. Got a little bit of 3-wide action back there. and that'll sort itself out.
First side-by-side battles between the 14 of Kevin Finn and the 83 of Johnny Thomas. Two very different lines. Looks like Thomas might get a little bit of a better run coming off of turn number 2. They're still door-to-door down the back straightaway. It is bumpy down that back straightaway. Sometimes you can see these cars really bounce. Entering turn 3, Sam Close is just watching this battle. He's in that popcorn position. A lot of room given on this racetrack. This track is just so wide. There's just so much room that can be given. There is a driver blinking in the top 5. I don't know if you're seeing that, but I'm seeing that. I think it's Mr. Drew Eisenman.
Yeah, just barely caught that. I'm sure that'll work itself out. Just saw it there.
Do we have an off-track official tonight for this?
I don't believe we do. We know Drew was usually in that position.
Okay, so I'm getting word there's no off-track official, but that's all right. I'm sure if it gets out of hand on that blinking, they will notify an admin who is out there on the racetrack, I do believe. But right now, nobody has complained about it. Nonetheless, there is a battle that might be brewing up. That might be the 26 of Chuck Sweeney trying to look underneath the 22 of Peter Short. That would be a good battle to watch if it happens. I believe there was a battle going on. But so far, nothing really pursuing just yet. Kind of looking through the field here. Kind of want to give everybody some screen time. There's a guy way out of the groove in the back of the pack. Who was that? That is Levi Zielinski, way out of the groove in the gray area. He's picked up quite a few positions since the drop of the green flag. He's up to 17th spot. Started 23rd. Another driver I'm surprised that's not in the top 10 is Mr. Matt Hackathorn. I'm sure those drivers will get up there as this race goes on. So far, it's been a clean start. And right now, Luis Salmasso might be feeling a little bit of a pressure from Paul Ross because Paul Ross is feeling the pressure of Cameron Rich. So we got 1, 2, 3 separated by 0.3 of a second.
All under a blanket there into one. Luis Salmasso, a little bit of a higher line entering there. And you mentioned last time, Tanner, Levi Zielinski a little high there in one. It can get pretty treacherous if you get up that high. You barely saw him in the background there. There's really no grip up there, especially this early in the race.
Not just yet. I mean, you got to get other volunteers to get on up there and drive the same line you are, but most of them are kind of riding that bottom groove at the moment. Levi Zielinski still driving at higher line. There's another driver driving at a higher line. I think that was Mike Stevens back here as well. This is about the 15th spot on the speedway. Just ahead of him is Nathan Velez, who's in 14th. Want to see if there's any other battles going on here. I believe Lafferty, did he get around Sam Close, or was that not, or is there just nothing going on there? Not sure. Oh no, nothing happened. Oh yeah, he did. Richard Lafferty just passed Sam Close for 9th.
Really working his way up there. Johnny Thomas Racing driver himself, his boss just in front of him.
Yeah.
Paul Ross trying to get a little higher of a lane there on the exit of Luis Salmasso for the lead, and he's got a bumper full of Cameron Rich there.
This is a battle for second that's brewing up. Cameron Rich in third in the 17. Paul Ross, who's won the last 2-point races here in the RaceKings Cup Series. He's currently in the second spot, 3OG Racing. You can see a little bit of a fishtail out of both cars coming off of turn number 2. A little bit of bump draft down the back straightaway. Cameron Rich did not try to take the opportunity to make a pass on Paul. He knows he could probably get him later. He doesn't want to battle too early to try to abuse some tires.
And I was going to say is Cameron Rich finally going to get the spot on Paul Ross. I was a little surprised that he didn't have more momentum than he did off of 2 last time, considering how much higher he was and how low Paul was to that white line. But second and third changing hands here.
It wasn't too much of a battle between the two drivers. Oh, Paul really loose. Man, did you see Paul come off turn number 2, man? Holy cow. That was huge. That could have been huge, actually.
Track showing its wear early here tonight, it appears.
As you just seen on replay right there, man, that was... I tell you what, I got a little excited when that happened. Just think how excited he got.
Oh, absolutely. A little bit of a battle just behind there. That's for the 5th position between Peter Short and Drew Eisenman.
Not every day you pass up your boss.
Oh? Let's do it. Yeah. Oh.
Uh-oh. Well, Carlos, we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
Trying to see if there's any other good battling on the racetrack. I do see Lafferty over Johnny Thomas, but nothing's producing just yet. I think Thomas is gaining on the 14 of Kevin Finn there, so we'll keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on that as it goes on.
Speaking of racing your boss. One thing to note, Chuck Sweeting has worked his way up into the 4th spot there, just behind Paul Ross. That battle for the lead going on. It was on board the 17 of Cameron Rich. And this is just behind on the 4 of Luis Almaso.
Man, I'm just noticing how crazy the cars are bouncing on the back straightaway. This racetrack's never been repaved ever since it was built back in, what was it, 1997. Yep. That was the first year of NASCAR racing here at Auto Club, so this racing surface was never touched. And it was laser scan into the iRacing, so...
Let me tell you, Tanner, one of the craziest races I've ever seen here at Auto Club Speedway. I was there for the 2014 race when the Cup Series was here, and it was the craziest thing seeing cars blow a tire 20 laps into a run on the dot. Not going to see that here tonight, but that just shows you the type of wear that this track has on tires.
Worst I've ever seen tires in a NASCAR race, especially since we're talking real life. Indianapolis 2008. Does anybody remember that?
Absolutely, yeah. This track actually holds my favorite race ever, and it was the 2015 IndyCar race. They were 5 wide for essentially the whole race. So,
well, I do believe a driver has pitted already, and one of them drivers was James Duke. Not seeing any apparent damage on that race car. Not sure what's it all about, but he is back there in the 25th position. Battle for the lead. Cameron Rich on the bottom, passing Luis Almaso, and Cameron goes to the top spot.
Gonna have a little momentum to boot there off 4, as he will take the lead and lead his first lap of the day here.
Here's the replay of the battle for the lead. Down the back straightaway, entering turn 3. A lot of room given between the two drivers. And Cameron Rich passes him.
And, Luis Almaso's teammate there back in the field, Paul Ross, starting to lose spots there. He's all the way back to 5th, as Peter Short has now gotten by him, taking the 4th spot away.
We have not talked about it yet tonight, folks, and I apologize, but the fuel window here tonight is anywhere between 32 to 34 laps. But the tire fall off here is very significant at a track like this. Obviously, with since it is an older surface, and with the tire wear, the tire model that we have here on the sim, tires can be dreadful. So the tires might be going on away on some drivers, and some drivers may have laid back and just kind of chilled out and waited for their tires to really come in, for the track to come in on them.
It'll be quite interesting to see the fall off if we get to that fuel number, I should say. We may see some drivers choose tires over fuel here. I will not be surprised if we see that, but as you mentioned, should be seeing cars in somewhere around 32 to 34 laps.
Well, speaking of tires and fall off, let's see how some drivers are doing in this race. Let's talk about some drivers who have lost spots since the drop of the green flag. One of those drivers is Johnny Thomas. He actually is backed up into 10th place, started 7th, so it's still early for Johnny to try to make up positions. I'm sure he'll get up there. Another driver, rookie David Wilson, Mr. VR guy in the 39 car. He started 8th. He's currently backed up the 12th. Drivers on the move. How about Nathan Velez? Started 21st and up to 11th. He's got one more position to get to crack the top 10, and that's the cars right ahead of him. That's Johnny Thomas. Another driver that's moving up, Mr. Levi Zielinski. Started 23rd, currently 14th. So some drivers are kind of fading just a little bit, but not much. But we also have some bigger gainers than what we have as bigger losers. Very interesting.
I'll be very interested to see how Levi Zielinski fares. I mentioned one of the cars who didn't take a time. I don't know quite how hard he drove through the field here, but from back at the field to 14th and continuing to gain spots here, I'm sure he's going to be hurting for tires here once we come in.
The further you climb up towards the front, the harder it gets.
Absolutely.
Got a little bit of a battle here for Peter Short and Chuck Sweeting. Battle for third on track at start-finish line. Sweeting got him at the line, but they're still battling side by side. And Peter Short gets third.
No surprise there. Peter Short working his way through the field. Had a very good car last week at Iowa. Oh,
We got trouble?
I thought we had a car around.
Man, I'll tell you what, production truck's scaring the heck out of me
Yeah,
today twice.
Look here.
Back to live here. Not the best angle, we apologize, but hey, we still got Chuck Sweeting on board, so he has fallen back now, and he might fall back a little further because right behind him is Paul Ross. Then you got Eisenman right there, who still has some blinking issues, but it just doesn't seem it's bothering anybody out there on the speedway, so that is actually good news.
Tell you what, Isentech Enterprise is having a very good night here tonight with their cars first, third, and sixth tonight. 3 of them in the top 10. Their fourth car, Jordan Teal, back in 20th, has a little bit of work to do, but so far a very good night.
I got a question. I got a question for you here, Justin. We're right now going to be coming to 20 laps into the run. We already said that the fuel window is about 32 to 34 laps approximately. When would you want to try to make your pit stop? Do you want to try to short pit and take the tire advantage, or do you want to try to run it out to the or try to run it with so you can have fresher tires on the field on a longer run?
That's a fantastic question. I think it really depends on how you're feeling with your car. If you're feeling like you just have no more grip left in the tires, I'd come in as soon as possible, get those fresh tires, and maybe hope for the best at that point. But something just tells me we're not going to make it to that fuel run, especially with, like we keep saying, how much this track hurts the tires. Maybe 25 laps, maybe I'm thinking, but I don't know if we can run much more than that. But
Man, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we have an onboard with David Wilson, and I've been just watching this onboard, and it's been crazy. You got 3 drivers ahead of him. One was on the top side, Richard Lafferty, on the bottom, Johnny Thomas, and then you got Nathan Velez, who cracked that top 10, got around Thomas, got around Lafferty.
Oh, and the being told the 38 of Cody Wright is disconnected for the night, so that'll leave 24 cars left on track. First DNF of the night.
Corey Wright has taken it to the garage.
And you're talking about David Wilson. Again, as a man who raced VR for a little bit, it's scary and it's cool at the same time to know that you're basically sitting in the car, and they seem so close, and the racing can get so hairy. And one of the struggles I felt was not really knowing where the cars were around me. Tried to rely on the in-car mirrors.
Velez, man!
I was going to say, I thought we had someone going around.
Yeah, Velez, what a heck of a save by him. Holy cow. Let's pull that up on replay.
Woo.
Woo.
Wow. Hey, what? Thank goodness that backstretch, I believe it was grass at one point. Thank goodness they repaved that, because that would have been, I'm sure, a little bit worse.
I've done those a few times in my time here in 3-wide racing, and not just 3-wide racing, but also the official races as well, man. I tell you what. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Well, that cost Velez a few positions on track, but nonetheless, he knows he's got a fast car, so don't lose confidence just yet, 48. Drive like you're Jimmy Johnson.
Just not this year's Jimmy Johnson. Anyways.
He did lead his first lap of the season this past weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Looked good at Charlotte, so. Anyways, back to 3-wide.
Back to 3-wide. Right now, we're kind of into the window where we could see some early birds enter pit road for tires, but so far nobody has blinked just yet.
And I almost have to imagine, once one car comes down, you're going to see the rest of the field come down. I just can't imagine that you're going to have some people try and stay out longer than others. We know there's a few suspects who usually do that, but I have a feeling we're going to... thought I saw a car around, but once one person comes down, I believe you're going to see the rest of the field down.
Got a battle right here on screen. This is Kevin Finn going underneath Drew Eisenman. Eisenman, I'm a little shocked he's not running a little better than his teammates, like Cameron Rich. and Peter Short, but so far Drew, he's a very fast driver no matter where he goes, but he just lost 7th to Kevin Finn. Still having some blinking issues. Might clear up as the race goes on. So far, hasn't been bothered. Let's see if there's any other battles. I thought I seen Lafferty trying to go around. Actually, I take that back. That was Velez that just went around Lafferty last time by.
A little surprised. Everything looks green on that 77 machine in terms of connection, but still having some issues. But see there, the battle for the 10th spot, or excuse me, the 9th spot.
Yeah, that would be Johnny Thomas, and right behind him, David Wilson. Cameron Rich still leads the race with about a 1.4 second lead over Luis Samasso. Samasso actually is feeling a little pressure now from Peter Short. Peter Short has actually caught Luis. Let's see what Peter can do with him. He's caught him now. It's just a matter of trying to pass him. This will be a battle for second place. Oh, got a little slicey dicey. Still fighting the wheel. I tell you what, just because you're on a straightaway doesn't mean you got 100% control of your car. These guys are really wheeling and dealing when they're coming off the corner. It does get loose.
I remember a few times where I thought I was clear danger and get to the front straightaway and it just comes out from under me. It's never fun, a little embarrassing, but yeah, the usual suspects, Tanner, are rising to the front with Eisentech Enterprises, Peter Short, and Cameron Rich.
Trying to see who would have the fastest lap time on the track right now. I'm showing Luis Samasso the fastest lap time since the drop of the green flag. He ran a 39.894. He is now running a 42.179. That is huge.
Yeah, 2-second fall off. That's kind of what I expected, and depending on how much longer they stay out, that may drop maybe half a tenth more.
So far, nobody has flinched down pit road. These drivers have all 22 drivers who are currently on the lead lap. Actually, I take that back. Yeah, 23 drivers on the lead lap have made it to 27 laps on this stint. Cameron Rich still out front. Luis Salmasso in second. Peter Short in third. Chuck Sweeting currently riding in the fourth spot. In fifth place, Sam Close. Just reading off the top five.
Oh, and the 18 of Paul Ross coming to pit road earlier, lap 27.
Well, I was just going to call you out. You fell back to sixth there, buddy, but now he's made the call to come down pit. Now, this might give...
Oh, no, there's another guy coming down. Rusty Webb back there in the 88 coming down too.
That's some 303 drivers right there.
That was 28 laps he went.
All right, well, keep an eye on... I got to keep an eye on my track map here just to see who's going to make the flinch down.
I think Cameron Rich may be slowing down to bring it down as well.
160, he's still climbing. No.
Made it look like it.
So far, I'm only seeing two drivers so far that went down pit road. Nobody else is. Right. Now, here's the kicker with the 88 of Rusty Webb. Actually, I see the 70. Oh, it's James Duke down pit road, but also the 18 pitted. Here's the kicker. If everybody stays out longer, the 18, the 88 will gain some valuable time on the racetrack. Right now, the 18's already on the back straightaway, and he can only go about 3 or 4 more laps approximately. So we might see some drivers hit it this time by.
We mentioned the fall off was about 2 seconds, so that's what the 18 and 88 are going to be gaining on these guys who are on older tires. So it'll, as you mentioned, valuable track time as 17 still stayed out. I don't know how much longer he'll stay out for, but
all drivers I'm looking at are still stayed out at the track. So this is actually good for Paul Ross, realistically.
Driver who was falling back, short pitted, and he'll try and make some track position up here.
Let's see how fast he is compared to other drivers on the track. On board, right ahead of him is his teammate Sam Close. Look how fast he's closing up on that. So just a huge difference in tires.
Right.
Wow, that blowing by him like they're nothing.
So the leader's last lap was a 42.143. Paul's will be
41 flat.
That's a little surprising, actually. I thought it'd be a little bit quicker than that.
Do you think traffic though could play a role in that?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Not getting. Oh,
he caught Chuck's me at the wrong time.
Yeah.
That's on corner exit, and Chuck's just trying to drive his race, and Paul's like, "Man, I got fresh tires," but it was just catching him at the wrong time.
absolutely. And you mentioned it gets into the gas a little bit later when you get into traffic. Can't quite get as good corner exit speed as you'd like. Getting back into the gas, and you just saw it right there. Fresh tires catching traffic at the wrong time. It can get pretty hairy.
It was only 3 laps ago Paul Ross pitted. Guess how many cars he's got to pass?
Well,
three more.
Yeah.
But we might have a battle though. Peter Short and Luis Massel, they're close together. That could be a battle for second. Ross might want to take a different line here if they're going to battle.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Wow, close your speed there. Wow.
Watch him come off the exit of the corner.
Yep.
Nothing.
Ring around the top. Goodbye.
Nobody is coming.
Yeah, this is really surprising. So they're at their mark at this point. Just took lap 33, so I'd have to imagine they're going to be pitting pretty soon here. Yeah. They can't go much longer.
Unless I was being lied to by the drivers, and they just don't want to give their information away on air, like I kind of give their information away on air. Well, we got a driver on pit road, Mike Stevens. He's flinched. Stevens is on. Only one so far.
And their drivers would never lie to us, would they?
Yes. I mean, you know how many of these drivers actually watch the broadcast?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. I tell you what, when I was racing, man, I always watched every single one of them. Now these days, not so much because I don't like hearing my own voice. But 14,
Comes the 14
Kevin Finn,
the 39 as well. Cameron Rich also came it down. So we knew this was going to be the mark, lap 34, and the 44 barely made it in.
That
was close.
So we did say that. Yep, Cameron Rich, the race leader. So many drivers on pit road. They're all taking 4 fresh tires. Do not overshoot your pit box, folks, because that will cost you a valuable time on the racetrack. Right side's going up on Zielinski, I'm seeing. A bunch of other drivers, right side's going up. Oh, the 03 Wade Lear overshoots his pit box. Cannot get in there correctly. That's going to cost him some valuable time on the racetrack.
And here comes the next wave of cars down. Luis Salmaso, Samuel Close, Chuck Sweeting, Andrew Eisenman.
Peter Short so far stayed out. Cameron Rich is already out. So is Kevin Finn, David Wilson. They're all out already. Peter Short stayed out. And him and Corey Lindsay are the only drivers left. Actually, Steve Kettman has yet to pit.
That's a pretty bold strategy on that 22 to stay out a lap longer. Probably just wanted to lead a lap, but that's pretty surprising.
It's common for Corey Lindsay, in my opinion, but...
Yeah. Not out of a car that, has a good amount of speed in it like the 22 does. Wasn't all the way back to 10th. Now he'll bring it down.
Here goes Peter.
Led a lap and bring it down.
Peter Short's on pit road, so that will lead Corey Lindsay.
Well,
and officially, Corey will not lead a lap just yet.
And he's bringing it down, so...
Bring it down. So
interesting.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it'd be interesting if he makes it to the line. Paul Ross just entering 3 now.
Paul Ross. Well, this will give the lead to Paul. Now here's the kicker. Paul would have a big advantage, a little bit of an advantage. He's got about a 3.5 second gap over the second place driver, Cameron Rich. Cameron's got about 7 lap old tires than what Paul has. So this will put Paul in the lead for a little while. It's still trying to, my live timing and scoring is still cycling through these pit stops right now, so.
Trying to do the math here. It's a 100-lap race. Theoretically, I think they should all be
30.
Making.
Was that at the most 35 laps?
Yeah, 35 laps was on the 22, 34 on the rest of them, and Paul came down at lap 28. So.
You can make it on 2 stops.
All right.
Their next pit stop should be, well, for Paul, man, Paul might split the pit at 8 laps. He might do 3 stops. I'm not 100% sure because they all came in on lap 35, and that's the most. 35 laps from now is lap 70, and that's 30 laps to go.
Well, and of course, the thing that's going to throw a wrench in all this is if we see that yellow flag. So.
Yep. So far, we haven't seen the yellow flag today for the Race King Cup Series here at the Auto Club Speedway. It's been green since the drop of the start. Paul Ross leads them around Auto Club, about 2-second lead. Cameron Rich is still trying to bite into that lead. He's got the fresher tires yet still. Luis Salmaso, Kevin Finn, Peter Short, and Sam Close, the top 5. Or as the top 6, excuse me.
Kevin Finn, a little bit of a winner in that. I believe he was running around 6th place, moves up 2 spots to 4th.
He was pretty good. He was a good winner in there. Yeah, he's now in 4th. He got Luis right ahead of him, and he has 1 lap. He actually has a lap older tires than Luis, but still, he's about 6/10 back. Let's see who else was a good winner there. How about Sam Close? He's in 6th. He's been about where he's been running, really. David Wilson. Well, David Wilson gained a couple of spots because I remember him being about 9th or 10th place before the pit stops. Now he's up in 7th, and right behind him is Johnny Thomas. Let's see the fastest time. I'm seeing a 14.5 out of Thomas. Thomas actually had the fastest pit stop in the top 10.
Chuck Sweeting a little bit longer on his stop. For me, showing a 16.8.
For Sweeting?
Yes.
Yes, I'm showing the same thing, 16.8.
Like he was the longest on pit road there. Not sure if he was repairing just the slightest bit of damage or what happened there, but
I don't remember him making contact with anybody, but actually a lot of these drivers look pretty clean out there. As for the lead, though, Rich has caught Ross. And this was actually expected due to the drivers about 7-lap-old tires between the two.
yeah, really no surprise there.
So Rich is now back out front, Paul Ross. Now, the great thing about Paul, yeah, he lost the race lead, but we got to remember, before the pit stops even began, he lost positions in the early going and fell back. I think the lowest was a 6th place. So he pitted early, and that gave him all that track position. Now about 6.5 seconds back is 3rd place, so he's got a pretty significant gap from where he's at now to where he actually pitted.
Absolutely. Probably the biggest winner in all of this, pitting that much earlier. The car that came down with him, the 88 of Rusty Webb, all the way back to 18th, so it didn't quite work out for him as well as it did Paul Ross, but
he actually had a better, faster pit stop than Ross, too.
Yeah.
But the only difference is that Rusty Webb's been outside the top 10 all race long, and he pitted early, tried to gain that track position. He probably did gain that track position, but the tires, though, it's been 14 laps now, and this is about the time of the stage where if you ran 14 laps on tires, you start to fall off a little bit if you were driving a 200.
Wow, how about this? About 3 wide down the back straightaway there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey, that's the first time we've seen that.
Yeah, battling with the lap car of the 76 of James Duke, just trying to keep out of the way of these guys.
Thomas. Man, I thought Thomas got loose. I think he did get loose. Some great shots right there, man. That's awesome.
I don't know if I was gonna say I don't know if Johnny Thomas was too happy with James Duke there. Kind of pulled up in front of him on the front straightaway there.
I mean, how many times has a driver come up to you like that and shook his fist at you?
Yeah, his virtual fist, yeah.
I got the virtual. Well, we're not going to go there.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the great camera angles. Just want to give another mention. These camera angles are provided by TrackCams for Gourmet. You can find more information or download them at www.trackcams22 or facebook.com/trackcams. Amazing angles here tonight.
Great onboard views too. Well, what we got on screen right now is that who's that? Who are we on board with here? Number 8
of Richard Lafferty, his teammate and owner just in front of him, Johnny Thomas. Two cars have been around each other all night, it appears.
Where is Richard in points? Richard Lafferty, 21st in points. He's made 7 starts so far this season, but he's only made 2 top 10s, so he doesn't have the stats like his teammate Johnny Thomas, but I'm sure he's looking for a turnaround sometime this season. I'm sure he could probably get some help from his from Johnny there, and him and Johnny are good buds. I know that's a good team.
Absolutely. Always have fun over there at JTR.
It's a solid team, man. I'm not making that. They won a championship. I think Johnny Thomas is the one that got that championship. I'm so jealous because he got the diecast.
On a team with Richard a little bit before he went over to JTR, so had some fun with him.
Battle for teammates right here, going on right now. Lafferty's going to go for 9th on his teammate Johnny Thomas.
Trying to show up the boss here tonight. He will take that spot entering 1.
Cameron Rich still leads. He's now put about 4 seconds now on Paul Ross. Luis Salmasso actually took 4th away from Kevin Finn, or 3rd away from Kevin Finn. Kevin Finn lost his positions from Luis Salmasso and Peter Short. So Luis is 3rd, and Peter is now 4th. Peter might be battling with Luis here soon, but they're eventually they're about 2.5 seconds behind Paul Ross. That's for 2nd. So right now, a battle for 3rd could be looming up.
The battle that's been brewing for a while there. You see the 5 of Sam Close and the 39 of David Wilson. Been watching that for a while. David hasn't been able to quite make the run on Sam, but he hasn't let him get away.
Yeah, only separated 0.2 of a second. He actually got a nice little bit of a run down the back straightaway, and it's not enough to really go side by side with him.
We'll just peek the nose out down the back straightaway here, see if he can dive it in a little bit deeper than Sam.
You want to be careful doing that, though, because you don't want to get too close and clip their left rear quarter panel.
Yeah. One interesting thing I have noticed tonight, I haven't seen a whole lot of guys use that apron in 3 and 4. Mentioned we have a new 3rd place. Peter Short had gotten by Luis Salmasso. I did mention the apron there in 3 and 4 can be used better than 1 and 2, but I haven't seen a whole lot of guys take advantage of that. I have a feeling if we see a restart, that may get some more use.
Yeah, and that's an interesting part. You mentioned at the top of the show about using an apron in 3 and 4. There is many drivers that have used it in the past, but I think the reason why it's not getting so much use here tonight is probably because on how loose these guys are getting on exit, and they don't need any more rotation or help from that apron.
Yeah, we've already seen an example or two of how loose these guys are. But definitely, I have a feeling during a restart, I'm going to see one bold guy at least try and pick up at least 5 spots there. Yeah. Like about a lap away from the halfway point here tonight. Some points about to be given out.
Yes, let's go through them points. Here's the kicker. The bonus point for leading the halfways, and if Cameron Rich can hang on to it, I believe he will, he'll get the bonus point. And then it's going to go, the top 10 are going to get bonus points. So 9 points is going to go to Paul Ross. Peter Short will get 8. 7th points will go to Luis Salmasso, and so forth, all the way down to 10th, who's Johnny Thomas, who's actually battling for Richard Lafferty right now. For the 2-point spot. That 2-point spot is 9th, the 1-point spot is 10th. So significant points, a significant time of the race to be in the top 10. I don't know about you fellas, but I actually like this format a heck of a lot better than what I'm watching on TV.
Yeah. No breaks at least here.
Absolutely.
Johnny's going to try and get a run here off of 4. Not going to quite get it there, though, on Richard.
All right, yeah. So the top 10 drivers getting points. Cameron Rich, Paul Ross, Peter Short, Luis Salmasso, Kevin Finn, the top 5. Sam Close, David Wilson, Chuck Sweeting, Richard Lafferty, Johnny Thomas, all getting top 10 points, with Johnny Thomas getting 1 bonus point. That's in the 10th place right there. I think that's how it goes. Am I correct?
I believe so.
Something tells me I don't have that correct, but I'll have to check that information in the future.
Well, Trek Sweeting just took over the 7th spot away from Dave Wilson. Now he'll go on the attack of Samuel Close for 6th, with Kevin Finn not too far ahead of Sam right now. Oh, got a car coming down pit road. Paul Ross.
This was the time. Did the 88 pit with them? No, this is 23 laps. Oh yeah, yes it is. Here comes the 88 now. All right, Ross, did he get? I want to make sure he didn't speed on pit road or anything like that, or making sure he got into his pit box just fine. Left sides are up. He's away. Now he's gonna have to make another pit stop, no question.
I was gonna say this is probably good 10 laps earlier than everybody else. I'd have to say much earlier than the last pit stop. On the floor of Luis Samasso got into the wall at some point. Yeah, you see the right side damage there.
We don't know where that came from. It may have been actually happened recently, but not sure where that came from. But he's got some pretty good damage. It might affect his aerodynamics. Who knows? I mean, we've already seen drivers drive a modified around like Rockingham and still as fast as they were.
Yeah. This is really interesting with Paul because he pitted, his first pit stop was lap 28, essentially 30 laps into a run. This time it was only about 20 laps into a run. This is quite a bit earlier.
This is actually more earlier than usual.
He will only have to take one more stop, but along with everybody else at this point. Oh, it's 26 riding on board with him. A little loose off 2 there.
Gonna go after Samuel Close here, though. I mean, loose is fast.
Yeah, as long as you don't spin it out, though.
Yeah, Wilson right behind Sweeting back there. It's actually a really good battle. Yeah, I'm going to say about 3 cars. You got David Wilson, Chuck Sweeting, Sam Close. Battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th.
And all following that 14 car down the straightaway, trying to get the draft.
I don't know how big the draft is here at Auto Club, but
I'd like to say big, but
Sam
wow,
Close. Man. Yeah, he almost hit the inside. He almost went flying into the inside wall.
That 5 does have some right side damage as well. This track, I'd have to believe, very aero dependent, at least for speed.
Right now, Sweeting's on the higher line. He's going to go after Sam Close. He might get the better run off on the end corner exit. Man, these guys are so loose on the exits.
Just imagine the view from the 39 of David Wilson right now.
I think, yeah, there's Wilson. I don't have to imagine it. Here you go. Side-by-side battle between Sweeting and Close. That it would be for the top 5 spot. Off turn number 2. Popcorn position goes to Dave Wilson. Because if anything happens between these 2 cats, or Sweeting, excuse me, and looks like Sweeting gets 5th from Close. David Wilson, yeah, he's been in the same carriage as the 2 guys ahead of him in the loose category. Let's see. Okay, I thought Lafferty was battling with Thomas there. I guess not.
Really watching the best battle on the track at the moment. 3 cars under blanket there. Starting to get to 4 cars there. Slowly closing in the 14 of Kevin Finn. Luis Samasso not too far back as well.
Man, this has been an interesting race so far because Paul Ross is totally on a different strategy than majority of the guys in this race. There's been a couple guys who I thought would be in the top 10 that have yet seen the top 10. One of them is Levi Zielinski. He's back there in 12th, has yet to see the top 10. Nathan Velez has cracked the top 10. He's back there in 10th place. Another driver I'm a little bit shocked is, where is he? The 44. Where is he at? 11th. And Drew Eisman, too. Yeah, he's fallen back. What in the heck? He felt like a rock, but he's got some right side damage, though, so he's collected some damage somewhere. That car is not driving like how he wants it to drive. He's backed up there into 14th.
Tanner, I believe we mentioned it in the beginning of the show how, as he's still blinking, but how quickly that turn 2 wall can creep up on you. I'd have to believe that it's probably bitten a couple drivers here with all the right side damage we're seeing, and he gets very loose. Drew Eisen
That was
does.
scary. On board Kevin Finn. On screen, if you see on the top, is Cameron Rich's fastest lap time of the race compared to what he's running right now. That is significant tire fall off, man.
Good 2 seconds fall off there.
David Wilson going after Sam Close for 6th. I thought he had a shot at him last time by in turn 1. Couldn't make anything happen. He's caught him. It's just a matter on trying to pass him.
Yeah, that's the easy part, getting to him. Getting around him was quite the different story here. A little bit lower in 2 there.
But yeah, driver should be in pit road within the next 8 laps, approximately. That was being around the time when they last pitted.
I'm just really curious how this is all going to work out for Paul Ross. He just got his lap back from the race leader Cameron Rich, but hope we get to talk to him after the race. Really curious why he went 10 laps less there. Oh, someone just came off pit road. It was the 00 of Corey Lindsay.
Yeah, and Paul almost Corey didn't go down pit road just yet. It was at
Not on the apron. Oh, maybe not. Looked like he was on the apron at least.
I tell you what, last time by off turn 2, Paul almost lost it. We were talking about Paul.
Get a little bit of a wiggle. That's what kind of deceived me there, but
I tell you what, Peter Short is. We got a battle for 3rd. Kevin Finn going underneath Luis Salmasso. Trying to go for it.
at least trying to, yeah. Just behind him too, Samuel Close and David Wilson. Wilson finally getting that spot away from Sam. Put him to 6th.
Weeding has caught Finn and Salmasso. Hasn't nowhere to go just yet. Oh man, Kevin Finn just got really loose off of turn number 2. Here comes Chuck Sweeting towards the inside. Sweeting has some right side damage, but it ain't slowing him down. Down in turn 3. And Sweeting's going to take the opportunity. He's got left side tires. He's a little loose.
I was gonna, he's got him.
Split. That apron, oh boy, and a crossover move for Finn. Oh man, I tell you what, no wonder those drivers are not hitting that apron. That's a fine example.
You do see some damage there on the 26th. I don't think that's too much of a worry at all.
Usually if you just scrape the wall, it's not too much of a worry.
Yeah.
But if you damage it enough, man, I tell you what, that handling that race car can really be a boggle to you.
It'll stop turning real quick.
I've knocked out too many toes here in the sim.
Yeah.
So Sweeting's going to go after another driver, and if Sweeting can get that 4 car, that would mean he would get 3rd. So right now he's currently in 4th. Let's see what he can do with Salmasso.
And they're slowly reeling in 2nd place as well. Peter Short. Obviously, if they get to racing, that's going to be a different story. But and now Sweeting going to get underneath the 4 of Luis Salmasso there into 1.
Side by side. Let's see who's going to benefit here. I think it could be Sweeting. Sweeting looks like he's got a faster car than these 2 cats. Finn, we might go 3 wide. Looks like Finn's going to think better of it because he just got a little loose coming off the corner of turn number 2. But while these guys are battling, they are catching a little by little to the 2nd place driver, Peter Short. Only 0.8 of a second back from Short. A 3-car battle might turn into a 4-car battle, but so far, Sweeting now goes up to 3rd place. Kevin Finn battling side by side now with Luis Salmasso. All this battling has now brought David Wilson only 0.5 of a second back to these fellas.
Interesting. Interesting to see how quickly getting side by side with one another can quickly bring another driver into the mix, as that got really closed off too there between Kevin Finn and Luis Salmasso.
You want the cleanest air possible, and clean air is so significant to this aerodynamic packages on these race cars.
Yes.
We cannot stress that enough. When you're behind somebody, you're in dirty air. And when you're out front and you ain't got nobody behind you, that's clean air. And a fine example of that is Cameron Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. 12 seconds in front of the field. Really no worries to be seen for that 17 right now.
Well, we might see some drivers hit pit road. I did see Corey Lindsay hit the pits.
Yeah, for
He's come
real
out
this
of pit
time.
road.
It's real this time.
I don't know. I think Dylan Hickey got on the radio saying he was pitting. Dylan Hickey's in 12th. I think he was saying he was pitting next time by, unless he was apologizing to another driver. So I'm going to keep an eye on my track map. Cameron Rich stays out. Chad Brown, 64, is headed to the pits. Oh, Peter Short is around. Oh, saved it.
And he's going to lose all his momentum down the front straightaway. He's going to lose at least 2 spots here.
Watch this. Still fighting it, still sideways. Wow.
I believe he has some... Take a look at the replay there. It almost looks like he has a little bit of... Oh, and it's still close back there on the back straightaway between the 22 and the 14.
Oh, we got a bunch of drivers hitting pit road now. Like, majority of the field's hitting the pits now. So this is the time to come down pit road. Cameron Rich is on pit road now. We had Johnny Thomas, Wilson, Lafferty, and Stevens in the 26 car. That's Sweeting. What a... Wow.
Oh, and the 5 had to lock him up there. It's this pit road, it looks so easy, but you're going from about 160 miles an hour to probably around 55 miles an hour.
An older set of tires, too, and
Yeah.
you might just lose it on the brakes. I mean, that's not an easy task. So, the drivers have pitted. Cameron Rich, Sweeting, Finn, Sam Close, Hackathorn has pitted. Velez has pitted. Wilson, Johnny Thomas, Lafferty, they have all pitted now. Cameron Rich has now exited the pits. Peter Short, Salmasso, Zielinski, Hickey, and Jordan Teal have all yet to make a pit stop.
Wow. Peter Short really driving it down in there. He will bring it to pit road. Salmasso will take the lead.
Peter Short hits pit road. Salmasso stays out. Zielinski, he's going to come in along with number 91 of rookie Dylan Hickey. Hickey's having a pretty good, solid day today. Not a scratch on that number 91 car.
Sir. Now
Paul
this...
Ross. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, with Paul Ross, this begs the question, when does he come down now? With 33 laps to go, that's when everybody else pitted. He pitted with 49 to go. We know he has to make one more stop. It's going to be the $1 billion question, when does he bring it down?
I hate to tell Paul, and this is just in my opinion, but I think he came down that second pit stop. I think he came down just a little too early.
Yeah.
Because right now when Cameron came out of the pits, he had an 8-second gap between Cameron and Paul. 8 seconds. It is now down to 7.5, and Cameron's just chewing the heck out of that lead between the two drivers.
Well, I guess Paul Ross's best friend now is going to be that yellow flag. It's been green all race, but he's going to have to hope for one.
Tommaso in the pits. He is now in his pit box. He is the pole sitter.
76 scraped the wall a little bit going by there.
That was James Duke.
Currently 3 laps down.
Now it's 6 seconds between Cameron Rich and Paul Ross. And I bet you here in about 5 seconds, I'm going to say it's going to be 5.5.
Yeah.
It already is. That's how much he's chomping into Paul's lead. Folks, that is 17 laps on tire difference between the 17 and the 18.
Yeah, just to give you an idea. That's like a second a lap, or a second a corner, really.
Check out the live tracker here. Here's the gap between the two drivers, folks. Right there, 4.5. Now it's gonna chomp lower. Look at that.
Yeah.
4.3, just on a straightaway. 4.2.
I think Cameron Rich actually bottomed out there down the back straightaway. Saw some sparks from under his car.
Great. It feels good to have the race lead, but at the same time, man, I think that was a little too early.
I don't know if he misjudged it or tried to get on a different strategy, but The rest of these guys are going to be good to go on fuel, while he's going to have to make another stop and going to have to go all the way back. Especially now with on fresh tires, and he's, as you mentioned, on 17-lap older tires.
Well, Cameron can really take a little bit of a breather because he has 13 seconds ahead of Chuck Sweeting, who's in third. So, I mean, realistically, yeah, he's catching Paul, but he can clutch it and try to save a little gas, too.
That'll be, actually, yeah, it's, they pitted with 33 to go. We knew the, pit strategy was about 32 to 33, somewhere around there.
The longest we have seen is 35 laps. Nope. Oh, yeah, that was with the place stop. You're right. So we got a battle for the race lead. Cameron Rich has caught Paul.
Man, that was quick.
A little too quick.
Yeah. Well, with the leader now passing you, I think Paul maybe just, yeah, he's going to bring it down pit road this time. I was going to say, he's got nothing more to lose. He's just got to bring it down.
When did they pit? When did they pit? They pitted
with 33 to go, so he's going to have about 5-lap fresher tires, so not a huge difference.
33 to go, okay.
It's just tough to see how far that Paul drops here. I don't think he's going to be able to recover from this one.
He'll be faster, but...
I don't think by much, though. That's the thing.
But the problem is he's losing all that. Oh, he overshot his pit box. That cost him significant time.
Well, that's... unless we get a caution here, I think that's going to end Paul Ross's chance at a win here today. Not going to be 3 in a row, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're done, in my opinion. I hate to say that. But hey, but here's the kicker, Justin. He can afford to take those chances because he has 2 wins already in the bank.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose at that point.
Check out who's in second place. We have a new guy who's in second, and that's Chuck Sweeting. He's on the same tire strategy as the race leader, Rich, Finn, and Close, and that is the top 4 drivers, may I say. So, great pit stop, 14.7, one of the fastest in the top 5, with the exception of Sam Close. I'm reading a 14.6 for Sam.
Just speaking of strategy, last time we saw him on track, Las Vegas had the perfect strategy, unfortunately just missed pit road. Doesn't look like it's going to be as bad this time. Currently second, with Kevin Finn losing just a little bit.
Chuck Sweeting, where is he in the point? I gotta see where he is in the points. 20th in points. He's only missed a race so far this season. So with that being said, 7 starts, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. You got a battle for 6th.
Peter Short just went by Johnny Thomas there. How about David Wilson making his first start here in the Cup Series in the top 5 here with 25 to go? First of 3 starts. I have to imagine he's non-charter, so he'll make his 3 starts.
Pretty cool for David Wilson, man. I tell you what, he looked like he had a little bit of a slow start, realistically, but he's cracked the top 5. He's running pretty solid out there. He is actually gaining a little bit on Sam Close, who's just ahead of him before. So good showing for David Wilson, Mr. VR guy.
His buddy here today seemed close to, can't seem to get apart from each other, it seems.
Sam has yet to visit Victory Lane this season, and I'm shocked by that, realistically, but...
Came oh so close at 5 flags. And Iowa as well last week had a very good car.
With the exception of Paul Ross, I think the biggest loser as far as those last round of pit stops was the number 4 of Luis Salmaso. He's backed up in the 8th. That is actually the lowest he's been all race long under the green flag condition, despite the pit stops. And right behind him, we got Matt Hackathorn, who's cracked the top 10, along with Nathan Velez. Those 2 drivers are battling for 9th. You can probably practically throw 8th, 9th, and 10th over a blanket. Oh, Velez around!
And he's going to save it again. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out. That wall will come up on you in a hurry, especially angled like that.
I've done that.
Yeah. Take a look here.
Oh, it almost clipped. He's still loose. He's sideways. He almost clipped the left rear quarter panel of the number 8 of Lafferty. Oh, man. If I was Lafferty, I would have jumped.
Yeah. Just about ended up like Matt Kenseth there last year.
Holy moly.
And once again, thank goodness the grass has been removed from there. That would have been like ice.
Get a 1X too, man, and usually on the grass, it's so hard to save it too here on
Absolutely.
iRacing.
Well, he'll have to catch his breath a little bit. Back to 11th goes Velez.
Oh, I thought that was a battle. I thought it was a battle on track, but Johnny Thomas is going around James Duke. Just kind of scrolling through the field here, see if there's any kind of good battles going on. Drew Eisman, Mike Stevens
for 14th. I don't know what quite happened to Drew. Maybe he just didn't get off pit road at some point quite as good as he wanted to, or maybe just not a very well handling race car. But he was up there in the top 10 beginning of the race. Now it seems like he's just struggling to keep the top 15.
He's just waiting for them road courses.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm messing with you, Drew.
Didn't look like his car was too happy off 2 there, though.
You know, I hate to say this. If a caution comes out right now, it's not a good thing. Here's the reason why. Look where Paul Ross is. He's in 18th, 1 lap down. But the problem is he's not the first car 1 lap down. He would have to get by Rusty Webb and Jordan Teal for that, which is just ahead of him. But he does not want a yellow flag right now. Otherwise, he would have to take the wave around. And if you take a wave around, you can't pit.
And he's a little bit behind Mike Stevens, but not too far behind. And the pace that Cayman Rich is setting, I think he may put Mike Stevens another lap down here before too long.
Well, what do you say, Director? Would it be all right to go through the top 10? We haven't done that before, today. All right, let's try to go through the top 10 so far in this race. I should have done it earlier, but I didn't do it. Cameron Rich so far is leading the race, has a dominating performance, had a strong car, just way in the weeds in the first opening laps. But right now, looks like he is sitting very pretty. He's got a 15-second lead over second place Chuck Sweeting. And how about Mr. Chuck Sweeting? Started 6th on the day, fell back just a little bit, but he regained his time, and he really regained his time on his last pit stop. He's now in 2nd place. Closely behind Chuck is Kevin Finn, who's currently in the 3rd spot. He started 9th on the day, been in the top 10 all day long, has had a very quiet day here today. Kevin Finn running in 3rd. Sam Close, I figured he would start in the top 5, but today he started in the top 10, started 10th, now up in 4th. Right now he looks like he might be being challenged by Mr. VR guy, David Wilson. Sam Close still hunting for that first win of the season, and David Wilson is running his first RaceKings Cup Series race this season, doing a magnificent job in his VR headset. I bet he's loving it. And he's running in the top 5 after starting 8th. Peter Short was running in the top 5, but he's kind of fallen back now, back into 6th. He just has to get by either Sam or David Wilson before the end of the race to get a top 5 finish. He started 4th on the day. Got already 3 wins on the season, the most wins out of anybody so far this season for Peter Short. So Short's currently in 6th. Johnny Thomas still hunting for that first win on the season for Johnny Thomas Racing. He is where he started, in 7th place. So Johnny has had a quiet running in the top 10 so far today and hasn't pulled off a spectacular pit road strategy. It's mainly on the same strategy as the drivers ahead of him. Luis Salmaso is the biggest loser so far in that last round of pit stops because he was in the top 5 when those round of pit stops began. He's currently in the 8th place after starting on pole in today's race. So Luis is backed up in 8th and still trying to gain more. Hasn't been able to try to run down Johnny Thomas for 7th just yet, but we got about 15 laps to go before anything happens there. And how about Matt Hackathorn? He usually starts in the top 10 every single week, but not today. He started all the way back in 18th. He's now cracked the top 10 in 9th place. Used a little pit strategy to get up there, but still running, having a solid day in that number 44 Toyota in 9th. And finally, the top 10 in 10th place, Nathan Velez has had a couple scary moments off of turn number 2, but he hasn't damaged the car in any way after getting loose. Started 21st and now running in the top 10, so he's hoping for a solid day here today. Just got 15 more laps to hang on. Battle for 7th. You can lay him over a blanket. 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's Johnny Thomas, Peter Short, and Luis Salmasso. Thomas got around Peter Short. Peter Short falling backwards now. Actually, Peter just dropped it to Salmasso. I have to get live here on my screen. So Peter Short lost 2 spots. Here goes Salmasso going around Thomas, at least trying for it. Got a little close to that left rear quarter panel. Giving each other a lot of room. And Salmasso might get... He's coming back. He started on the pole today. Off of turn 2. Salmasso looks like he's going to get Thomas. So Thomas backed up to 7th.
Wow. There goes
Peter Short. Oh, man. He's got damage on that left front. I don't think that it came from that. There's no way. Okay, he had that before. Oh, man, I was going to say, what the heck did he hit?
By the way, just speaking of battles, while you're going through that top 10, I've been watching this battle for 14th between Drew Eisenman and Mike Stevens, and I tell you what, these guys are wheeling it and about out of control. It's you want to see how hard it is to race this track? Just watch these two guys. It's been a heck of a battle. They've about lost it numerous times here. And it looks like Eisenman finally going to get the best of it, but I tell you. And just behind them, by the way, the 17 of Cameron Rich. So if they get by, well, actually, Paul Ross just put himself into the lucky dog position, but if Cameron Rich gets by these two guys, it's going to be all but game over for Paul Ross, I'd have to believe.
I don't think Stevens is going to give up that position without a fight. He's going to try to gun down Eisenman back.
And I tell you what, they've been crossing each other over, wiggling off the corner. This is some good old hard-fashioned racing.
But everywhere's loose.
Yeah, especially at Auto Club Speedway.
Well, we got 12 laps to go. Cameron Rich is now about to lap those two drivers, though. Gaining on them. 11 to go. Cameron Rich, and I tell you what, Stevens, this is actually the most entertaining battle on the track, though. Stevens he can get there, but he gets so loose getting there.
I'm telling you, man. And again, the 777 just doesn't look like his car is happy at all. I've seen him wiggle it so much, especially off 4.
I tell you what, I don't think they. Oh man,
we hit the wall.
In the wall.
And if you're Cameron Rich, this is especially what you do not want to see. Paul Ross just behind him there. He could get his lap back here should he get caught up in traffic, but
Paul is on fresher stickers than all these guys. When I say stickers, I mean tires.
well, there's no stickers for tires.
I always call them stickers.
Yeah.
That's just a slang term, but
Yes,
I tell
sir.
you what, that might end Stevens' day trying to get 14th away from Eisenman, and he's still loose on entrance, man. He's still trying to hang on to it.
I have a feeling that Drew's not going to give any sort of hard time to or to Cameron Rich there.
Stevens in the wall again. I think David Wilson. There's another battle heating up. Wilson trying to get on close.
The two that just could not get away from each other all day. It's the battle for 4th.
Cameron Rich going underneath his teammate Drew Eisenman. All of them really loose. This is actually pretty entertaining right here. A little more entertaining than Wilson and close. Because here's Paul Ross trying to get back on the lead lap.
And once he gets that lap back, he's got to hope that within these next 8 laps that the caution comes out at some point.
Well, he just doesn't want to be the caution, but if he can get back on the lead lap, he'd be able to pit and get 4 fresh tires and try to gain everything what he can gain. But that's if the caution comes out, because we got 8 laps to go. We're on 8 laps to go right now. And just keep in mind, folks, iRacing does not have green-white checkered, so if the caution does come out with approximately 5 laps to go, the race is over.
Tell you what, leaders have gone by in the 63 and 77. Back to racing here. I thought the 63 was going to come up and clip the 77, but back to hard racing there, and Stevens hits the wall once again.
I figured that was going to happen. He's trying to get him, man. I told you he ain't giving up.
I feel like if the 63 got loose on entry there, I think if the caution's going to fall, it may be between these two guys. They are racing the heck out of each other.
I hate to say it, but I was thinking the same thing.
Whittling off the corner for both of them.
Oh, it's fun watching these guys.
It's fun watching it. It's not fun in the car, I can guarantee you.
Oh, man, Stevens dove it in there, but he drifted a little higher. That cost him a little time to 77. Actually, this is the most entertaining part of the track right here. A little bit of an update. Wilson has not gone by close yet, and that's actually the only closest battle within the top 10.
The 5 laps to go. I think Paul's unfortunately running out of time here. I think 14th may be the best he's going to do here tonight.
I don't, man. I tell you what, 63 almost got loose off turn 2. I tell you what, 77 almost got loose too. I tell you what, they wrecked, but they just didn't hit anything.
I think Stevens.
Oh, Stevens!
Oh, yep. I was gonna say he was heading for that wall.
I wonder how much dirt these guys have been doing. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, like Nathan Velez, I bet he was driving the car, but I bet you if that car would have hit the wall, he would have been just a passenger.
Kind of what you are here. Once these cars, yeah.
Man, look at the wheel input.
See how bumpy it is down that back straightaway too. How much that camera was moving.
Doesn't
See
help.
how much? Yeah. See how much he turns to the right here. He's fighting it, but yeah.
You're probably thinking, why is he turning to the right? He looked like he did turn to the right a little bit, but when you come on a corner exit like that, you're trying to even out the front tires, keep them straight as much as you can with all the back end coming snapping around on you.
Yeah. So 4 to go at this point. Paul Ross, the strategy did not work out for him. He's gonna most likely come home 14th here tonight.
So yeah, the best position I think he can get is he might be able to hunt down Dylan Hickey for 13th, but that's probably the most. Here we go, 3 laps to go for Cameron Rich, a 16. Uh-oh. Who was that of? Oh. Production truck scared me again.
Yeah. He's doing a really good job of that tonight, scaring us all.
I hate to say it, but a production truck sneezed. I jumped.
It was quite the ferocious sneeze out of production manager there. Yeah. The first surgery too.
Cameron Rich coming down to 2 laps to go here, and I tell you what, he's gonna match the tying for most wins. Cameron's on the wall, but that's not gonna
a
really
little
affect
tap.
him. A little bit of a tap.
Listen, you got 16 seconds on second place, Chuck Sweeting. You got some wiggle room at this point. You just don't want to hammer the wall.
Now if he,
yeah.
Let's give my let's do my hap here.
Yeah.
Tip
my cap. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Chuck Sweeting, man, I tell you what, he's having a fantastic day. He ran great back in Las Vegas. He's having another one today. This just goes to show that you're fully capable of running up towards the front and possibly winning races. And this is another example. But Cameron Rich coming off turn number 4, he's going to take the white flag lap. And it looks like if he doesn't blow out a tire for whatever reason, doesn't decide to stop on the back straightaway thinking it was the last lap like I would do.
Just really quick, driver, I want to tip my cap too. He's about to take the white flag, the 39 of David Wilson, his first race here in the RaceKings Cup Series, and he has a chance to get 4th place away from Samuel Close, one of the top drivers in the series.
Wilson,
that's going to be a race to watch here coming to the line.
That would be a top 5 finish for Wilson. Cameron Rich entering turn number 3. Got 2 more corners to make. Now 1 more corner here.
A little higher.
A little higher than usual, but that's okay. He can really rest assured. And Cameron Rich in the number 17 Boeing Ford is going to go to victory lane for the 3rd time this season.
Gave his team owner the lap back there as they came to the line.
Chuck Sweeting, fantastic day for him. He's going to come home in second. And third place, Kevin Finn.
Daniel Post's going to get fourth.
Oh, yeah.
Wilson going to top out that great night with the top 5.
Tremendous. All right. So, don't go away just yet. Just because the race is over doesn't mean you can switch everything off, because we're going to talk to the top 3 drivers here. I do believe Cameron's going to want to do his little burnouts here. So Sweeting, hopefully he's in here. I like to talk to him on his tremendous day, yeah. unless you want to talk to him, Justin. But I'll take the first guy, whoever I take here. I think we'll go with Kevin Finn here. Let's see if he's available to talk to. I do believe I did see him here in the chat. Finn, where are you? There you are. Let's talk to Kevin Finn here. Kevin Finn, 3 wide in the booth here. You got a copy?
I do.
Kevin, you had a tremendous run here today, coming home with a solid 3rd place finish. After starting 9th, you were in the top 10 all day, but it was a very quiet day for you. Tell me about your race.
Well, basically, it wasn't the best setup for me, but everyone has to be in the same car, so but I basically just went around the top 5 the whole time, and gonna do pit stop, the first round of pit stop, put me in the top 5, and I basically didn't really once a year. Just kind of single off from there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like you said, it was, right in the top 5 practically, and you've had a up and down season so far this season. You've only scored 3 top 10s. You now get your 4th top 10 of the season and your 3rd top 5. Is there a preference of racetracks that you like and that you don't like?
Well, I technically like the bigger tracks, like anything mile and a half and up, but trying to get my short track regimen a little better, but been having a lot of bad luck this season, getting wrecked or wrecking myself, so trying to work on it, trying to get to the top 5.
Absolutely, and now we go to a bigger track, and you did say you like the bigger tracks. Now we're going to another big track on June 11th next week, and that's at the Pocono Raceway. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe it's the repaved Pocono. How do you feel about your chances on possibly getting a victory lane in Pocono?
Love Pocono. It's one of my favorite tracks to drive, but past 2 years I've gotten wrecked within 10 laps, so I hope to make it at least past lap 10. Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, solid point there of that.
All right, Kevin. Well, thank you for coming to take the time to talk with us, and congratulations on the top 3 finish. Finished 3rd today, and best of luck next week at Pocono.
Thanks, guys.
That was Kevin Finn finishing in 3rd. And now let's go to 2nd place, if I can find him. Chuck Sweeting. Chuck, where are you? Is he even in here?
Sure is. Let's.
Yep, he is. I see him. I'll bring him up. I'll let you handle there, Justin.
All right. Well, Chuck Sweeting, 3YTV, got a copy?
I got you.
Well, I'd have to say that this race finished out much better than Las Vegas. Another fast car. This time, a little better entry on pit road, and you come home with a 2nd place finish. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, it's a pretty good night. Long race. Everybody did an awesome job, but boy, Cameron just embarrassed us, really.
Absolutely. It almost seems like that's the car to beat week in and week out, but it seemed like some guys had different pit strategies. Some guys tried to do 3. I guess only really one guy tried to do 3. It didn't really seem to work out for Paul today, but seemed like a two-stop strategy was the way to go here today.
Yeah, you reach a point where the fall off kind of stops, and so it doesn't really. There's not really an advantage to short pitting like that, but unless you happen to catch a caution right, there weren't none tonight. So yeah, it was tough. The car was really loose on those long runs, and it was tough to hang on to. But if you didn't abuse the tires too much, then 2 stops was definitely the way to go.
Absolutely, and speaking of fall off, there seemed like a lot of guys were having trouble hanging on to the car there towards the end of the run. What was the biggest challenge for you hanging onto the car tonight?
It's just lack of rear grip. It gets tight in the center, and then when you get on the gas, it kind of wants to lose the rear end and over-rotate. So I'm sure it's pretty much the same for everybody, but I don't know what Cameron's doing, but he's got it figured out better than the rest of us. But I'm happy with second. That's a good run for us.
Well, we go from one big track to one big triangle next week at Pocono. You ready to do some shifting there?
Absolutely. I love that place. Ran on the new track last night, and it was smooth and silk, and I don't know, it was a blast to drive. I had a lot of fun. Didn't win, but had a lot of fun.
All right, well, we congratulate you on your second place finish here tonight. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks to Corey for the league, everyone 3-Wide TV for putting this on, and everyone at Randall Fox Racing for all their support. And that's it.
All right, well, that's Chuck Sweeting here tonight, second place here tonight. Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.
And I believe
All right.
Tanner, is here with the winner.
Yep, I'm here down in Victory Lane with the winner, and that is Mr. Cameron Rich. Cameron, you got a copy there, buddy.
Yeah, what's up?
Dominating performance here today at the Auto Club Speedway, and it goes to show you finished the race. I believe it was a 16-second lead. You look like you were 13. Thank you, production truck. And I tell you what, at the start of the race, it looks like you weren't making any aggressive moves or anything like that. It was smooth as silk. By the time you got that race lead, you never gave it up unless there was a green flag pit stop. Tell me about your day out there. It looked like you're the Lone Ranger out towards the front.
Damn, every blind squirrel finds a nut eventually. Yeah, I just didn't want to abuse the tires in the first run, and did a kind of a crossover thing on loose there to get the lead. It was pretty cool. Didn't really see much the rest of the race, but just wanted to hit my marks and not do anything too stupid. And you know, this track, the last 2 years I've been in this league, I've blown the win both times, and I really wanted to win this race because I felt like I should have won one of those two. So it's good to finally do it.
You know, Cameron, you're one of the winningest drivers in the league the last couple seasons. You're very fast no matter where you go. I want to talk about the racetrack here at Auto Club just a little bit. It is a 2-mile shaped oval. You had a very solid run out towards the front. Not too much happening with you out towards front, but is there a difference in when you're driving the race car and you're headed down towards turn 1, you set up for that entrance? Is there a difference on setting up the entrance of turn 1 and turn 3?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Turn 1 is more arcing into the corner, and you have a little bit more banking, and turn 3 is kind of, you know, it's got that straight entry, and you can kind of throw it in a little bit harder. It's harder and straighter into 3, and it'll stick. You gotta take that wide arc into 1, or else you're gonna push up on exit. And seems like turn 3 is a little bit less grippy than turn 1 and 2, but for some reason, like, you can drive it into 3 harder than you think you can, even though it's like less grippy and less banking. And it's like confusing, but yeah, it's a really fun track to drive. I like it because it's hot and slick, and you can run, you know, when the track gets worn out or hot and slick and gets the rubber, you can run a little bit higher up, especially in 3 and 4. But yeah, the track was fun tonight. We were slipping and sliding, and that's my cup of tea.
Captured your 3rd victory of the season, and now you could be looking at your 4th victory of the season, depending upon how much you like Pocono. And may I add, it is not the older Pocono we're all accustomed to here on iRacing, the older pavement. I do believe it's the repaved version of Pocono. How do you feel about your chances at Pocono next week?
Well, got about as much chance to win as any other race. It all depends on, you know, if I can do what I need to do and get the luck, and you know, everybody else has a good shot to win. I know Paul's going to be fast. Paul is super fast. Kind of got caught out with the strategy tonight. Chuck and Peter and Kevin and Sam, all those guys, you know, they're all going to have a shot to win. So just gotta go out there and do it. I love the track, so let's just get it done.
All right, Camo, congratulations on the win here at the Auto Club Speedway, and best of luck to you at the Tricky Triangle of Pocono.
Thanks, guys.
That's Cameron Rich, folks, winning the race here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway. Let's round out the finishing order here tonight. The race results unofficial, but Cameron Rich will win the race here tonight after starting second. Chuck Sweeting finishes in second. Kevin Finn finishes third. Sam Close finishes in fourth. David Wilson finishes fifth. Great run for David. Congratulations to him on a top 5 finish. Luis Salmasso, the pole sitter of tonight's festivities, finishes in 6th. Johnny Thomas in 7th place. Peter Short finishes in 8th. 9th place is Matt Hackathorn. Great run for Matt after starting 18th. And a top 10 solid finish for Nathan Velez, who started 21st on the day there. Justin?
Absolutely. Richard Lafferty going to come home 11th here tonight. Dylan Hickey 12th. Levi Zielinski going to come home 13th. Paul Ross, unfortunately 14th. Just couldn't quite get the strategy right here tonight. Drew Eisenman come home 15th. Mike Stevens 16th. Those guys racing really hard there at the end, we documented. Jordan Teal going to come home 17th. Wade Lear 18th. Chad Brown 19th. And Corey Lindsay will come home 20th.
Finishing in blackjack position, Richard Hines in 22nd spot. Rusty Webb. James Duke finishes 23rd. Steve Kettman 24th. And 25th, Cody Wright finishing out the 25 drivers that started tonight's event. Justin, final thoughts of Auto Club, and then we'll pack the bags and your thoughts on Pocono.
Track slick as always, and usual suspects rising to the front. No surprise, Cameron Rich going to victory lane here tonight. That team just has it all figured out here tonight, and Pocono is going to be interesting. Haven't really seen a race on the new pavement here. I've seen it. Looks very much different from what we're accustomed to with the old Pocono. Much tighter there, so going to be interesting to see my first race at the new Pocono.
I prefer my first stints in iRacing in the official races this past weekend at the Pocono, and there's shifting going on, that's for sure. And you just gotta know when to do it, and make sure when you're downshift, make sure you're not going to go above 9,000 RPM, or you will blow the engine. So it's going to be a very interesting week next week. We got a couple of people to thank here. First and foremost, let's thank the organizers of the 3Y Racing League. Thank you for putting on such great shows each and every single week. Thanks to the sponsor, RaceKings Cup. RaceKings, who sponsor the Cup Series for the 2018 season. So thank you for sponsoring our series. And I do believe we got some camera angles to thank, and I do believe, Justin, you have that information.
Yes, sir. As always, the fantastic camera angles here tonight provided by TrackCams for Gourmet. You can find more information or download the pack at www.trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. And one more person to thank, that is Thomas Morris from OCR TV for providing the graphics package here tonight. Looks unbelievable, and can't wait to see it used throughout the rest of the season.
And thank you for the team here who brings the live coverage here tonight of the 3Y Racing League, 3Y TV, Carlson, the production truck. Thank you for operating all the camera angles that you've seen here tonight. Justin Kolb, always a pleasure seeing you in the booth here tonight as well, helping call the race. Folks, don't miss next week, June 11th, the 3Y Racing League Race King Cup Series returns to 3Y TV for the running of a Pocono Raceway. It's going to be a great, tremendous race. 3 different corners, shifting, repaved. It's going to be a lot of unknowns, but we will see it live here next week. Same time, same place. We'll see you guys next week.